Hey everybody, welcome to Plaid's New Product Showcase. I'm Jon from Plaid and glad to have you along. So for those of you who don't know, we are going to be going live every day this week, showcasing some of our brand new products for 2021. So we're super excited about it. We're going to be going live here on the Facebook page at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock Eastern every day. So please be sure to check back with us throughout the week to catch all the cool things that we're going to be talking about. You may have seen yesterday that we did a preview of our brand new Podge resin. That product is so exciting, excuse me. We're super excited about it. It's one of the most fun that we've had crafting with a new product in a long time. So please be sure to check that out. All of these sessions are housed on plaidonline.com/new. So one more time, go to our website, plaidonline.com/new, where you can find out about new products and you can see the archived versions of all of these sessions. So today we are going to be talking about Mod Podge photo transfer. I'm going to be answering questions in the chat, or actually, excuse me, I'm going to be passing questions along to Emma, who can answer them as she crafts. And we also have Tamara, who will be in the chat answering questions for you. So please go in the chat, be sure to ask your questions, and we'll pass those along. So we're talking about Mod Podge photo transfer. It is one of the most popular and most searched topics that we get here at Plaid. Photo transfer is so fun. It's all about personalization. It's making gifts, unique gifts that you can't buy in the store. It's a great fun project. It's one of the very first things that I learned to do when I joined the team here at Plaid, and I love doing photo transfer. So we're actually going to talk about 3 different methods today. We're going to be using our image transfer medium, our photo transfer medium, and our brand new product, the heat transfer tool. And don't worry, because Emma's going to go into all 3 of those and the differences between them. So I think that's it for me. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Emma and pass it off to her. Emma?
All right, awesome. Thanks, Jon. So hey, everybody. I just want to give you all a big warm welcome again to our 2021 New Product Showcase. And today I have the privilege of sharing with you 3 really awesome tools to help you with your photo transfer crafts. So like Jon said, we've always had our really awesome photo transfer medium and our clear image transfer medium. But in 2021, we are launching this really awesome heat transfer photo transfer tool in the Mod Podge line. So today, like Jon said, I'm just going to go over all 3 and tell you all the unique benefits and the differences between the 3 so you can choose which one works best for you and all of your photo transfer crafts. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. I think I'm going to start off with our photo transfer product. Okay, and we are going to be making this really cute little tote bag. So the great thing about this photo transfer is that it has a white halo around it. And so it really keeps your picture vibrant and you can't see the surface coming through. I'll show you guys a great visual representation of that. So as you can see, this is our photo transfer, okay? And you can't see the tin coming through. You just see that really vibrant, personalized picture. As opposed to this, with our clear image transfer, you can see this really light wood color coming through. So that's really the main difference between these 2 products that we've always had.
So what do you need to sort of get started before you really want to kick into your project? What are the elements that you're going to be using this morning?
That's a great question, Jon. So obviously you need your surface, and then you need whatever photo transfer tool you're going to pick for your project. So if you're using one of these 2, of course you're going to need a brush to actually brush on the Mod Podge. And then you're going to let it dry overnight, which I'm going to show you guys. And then what you're going to need is a water basin, and I'm going to show you how to do that, and a sponge. You could use your fingers, but I prefer using a sponge. And then you're pretty much set, Jon. That's really all there is to it. It is so easy and so fun. Anybody can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you can see here, we have just a ironed white tote bag, okay? And one thing I want to point out, when you're using any one of these 3 products, you want to have a copy, a printed copy with dry toner, okay? So you want a LaserJet dry toner copy. What you're not going to want is a wet toner inkjet copy. So that's just something to keep in mind when you get started with all these projects. And another thing I just want to point out, if you were to have words on your photo or you know, any picture and you want it to stay in the same formation on your project, you want to make sure it's reversed. Because as you can see, this is what it looks like here, but when I place it down, it's going to be flipped. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Particularly important if you get anything with words on it or
Yes,
someone's
if you-
face or whatever, they're going to look, it's going to be opposite. So make sure you reverse out that image.
Absolutely. You don't want your last name switched around. That would look a little weird.
And any photo imaging sort of software can do that. Even PowerPoint, you can just take it and drag it and flip it the other way.
Absolutely. Or when you go to your printing center, if you don't have a dry toner printer at home, they can totally do it for you. No big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out my image because that makes it a little bit easier to work with. And of course, I just like to follow the straight line that this image already has and just cut it out. So really, all of these different products are great for, like we said, for personal family photos. And as you can see, they're great for vacation photos too. If you're a photographer and you have some really awesome family photos, this is just a really great product to preserve all of those memories that you made with your family.
If you're new to photo transfer, guys, you are going to love this stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it's, like I said at the beginning, it's one of the most popular topics that we have, and it's been around for a while, the idea of photo transfer, but it is consistently one of the things that we are most asked about. So even though this technically isn't a brand new product for us, we did want to go ahead and show you how to do it because it is so popular.
Absolutely. So like I said, we're using our photo transfer, so that's what we're working with first today. Okay. We might have to take this cap off. Okay, and I'm just going to squeeze that out just onto a plate. And another difference you'll pick up on, this product is a little bit thicker than our next one, okay? So we're just going to apply it onto our brush, and then unlike regular Mod Podge, we're going to apply it directly over our picture and not on the back side because this is obviously the ink that we're going to be transferring onto our surface. Okay.
So you're applying it right directly onto the face of the image.
Yes. And you want to be pretty generous with your application of this, Jon.
Thick, even coat.
Yeah, you don't want to have any missing spots because obviously the Mod Podge is what's going to help your image transfer. So you want to just make sure that you get the whole surface area of your image to ensure that the image transfers correctly.
Yeah. And maybe it goes without saying, but you notice she actually pulled the bag aside. So don't do this on top of your surface because it is going over the edges and you don't want to get a mess on your surface.
Yes, absolutely. You totally could, but it's just better to keep our workspace clean.
Right.
Okay.
You can see how easy this is, guys. She's just literally painting the stuff right on there.
Oh my gosh, yes. It is so quick and easy. It's amazing. Okay, so now we're just going to peel that up, lay our tote bag down, and just make sure that it's centered. Okay, and place it down. And so it's really important that you get your picture really smooth onto your surface. We don't want any air bubbles because those air bubbles are going to become a barrier from your image to your surface, and that means that the ink's not going to transfer correctly. So you could use a brayer, a squeegee, any kind of Mod Podge tools you have at home, but it's also totally fine to just use your hands. You just want to make sure that it's really, really flush to your surface. And I think that one is. So what I would do now is I would just let this sit for about 24 hours and make sure it's totally dry. And now I'm going to show you the next part. We have some step outs here with the help of a little TV magic.
Yes.
Okay, so I let this one dry overnight. I did this one yesterday, the same process. See how you can already, I don't know if you guys can see at home, but see how the image is already coming through a little bit because it's dry? So now what I have is just a little water basin and a sponge. So I have this natural sponge here, but you can use a regular kitchen sponge. Any kind of sponge will work. And I'm just gonna really dip my sponge into my water basin because what I wanna do is make my image really, really damp. Okay.
And so you're just going to be dissolving that paper away, huh? With water.
Yes. So I just want to go and I just want to dab, dab, dab all over. And it's okay if you get the tote wet. That's expected. See that?
You can already see the image starting to come through where you've wet the paper there. So
You sure can.
this is how the magic happens, guys.
And you just want to make sure that your image is totally wet because that's going to help you transfer in the end.
Yeah, that is amazing. Look at that. You can just see, already seeing that coming right through. We have all kinds of folks watching this morning. Everybody is impressed so far, having a good time. So thanks everybody for joining. We appreciate it.
Awesome.
We see our friends, the Crafty Lumberjacks, around this morning commenting.
Hey guys. Okay, so now our project is totally wet where our picture was. So now we're able to start rubbing some of that paper off. And what we're really doing here is we're just removing all of that paper so that the ink stays onto our surface. Okay, and I just kind of want to start out with my finger. And one thing I want to note, you want to be pretty gentle with this, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to go back in layers and you're going to keep removing those layers of paper. Right now we're removing the first layer, and then what I would do is once it's totally dry after removing the first layer, I would go back, re-dampen my picture, and then I would keep rubbing just like I'm doing right now.
Yeah, this part does take a little bit of patience because it's multiple steps of paper, and then it sort of hazes over a little bit, and then you go back and then you remove more paper,
Yes.
hazes over again. So that's totally normal. That's the way it's supposed to work.
Yes, and see how you can already kind of see the vibrancy of the actual picture coming through, John?
Yeah,
It looks awesome.
it really does.
And I like using this natural sponge too because the texture that it gives off, it just really helps to remove some of that excess paper. Okay, you see, and then you kind of start to really get it going and it becomes a lot quicker. And that's what you do with our photo transfer medium. So once it dries, this is one that we already have, our final step out. It's gonna look like this. And how beautiful is that?
Yeah, that is amazing. And so now this again was the photo transfer medium that you were using. This is ideal for fabric.
Yes.
Right? And is it hand washable, correct, afterwards?
Yes, it is hand washable. So kind of a mantra we have at Plaid, if it's handmade, then it should be hand washed. So just like this, it goes for this as well. So yes, it is absolutely hand washable. And you know, like we kind of said in the beginning, it has a clear background. So if this were like a yellow or a blue or a green tote, the yellow and the green color wouldn't come through the picture. It would just be this white image.
Sure. And it's, you know, it's great for a lot of different things. I mean, it's not just fabric. I mean, if you look over here, actually, we do have another you know, sort of fashion application here on the shoes, but it's great on canvases. Look at this pillow that we made here. So you can see how you sort of have the starting image, and then you have, I mean, how vibrant that is right on the pillow. Even on something like this, like the cover of a book. So it's so great to personalize this sort of stuff with your own photo. Of course, you know, you're not going to be able to go out and get a little baby album with your baby on it. So like, how perfect is this, right?
Yes, and it's super easy and inexpensive way to get your own photos onto your personalized loved items. I just want to show you this really cute little tin wall hanging too. So yeah, that's photo transfer. And now we can move on to our clear image transfer. And so, yeah, a great craft that we like to do at Plaid with our clear image transfer and really all of our photo transfers is to do it onto little wood coasters. Okay, so I have this cute little image of a cat here. And this is obviously great to do with all your pets. This would be a really great gift for your friends, with your friends' pets, your family. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm going to place my coaster right over my image here. And I just have a pencil, and I like to go around and kind of trace the shape that I want to cut out. And also, this helps me to know just kind of where it's going to lie on my actual coaster. And so if I didn't like my placement of it, I could just reposition it, obviously. But I like where that is. So now I'm going to take my scissors again. And because this coaster, this little wood cookie is what we like to call it, is so natural looking, I'm not too bothered about getting my circle totally precise because we could always trim it down if we need to.
Yeah, once the image is on there and is sort of drying, you can take some scissors and just trim along the edge. You can even take a little bit of sandpaper and just hit those edges down if you want to, where it hangs over the edge of the surface.
Absolutely. Okay, trim it up a little bit more.
So maybe just one more time for folks if they're confused. Tell us why you would choose, the clear transfer medium versus the photo transfer medium. What's sort of the difference there?
Okay, so if I were to use the photo transfer medium for this craft in particular, it would take this white background that I have on my paper and it would transfer the white background onto my coaster. But you can see we are using the clear image transfer, and so we're just getting this little pretty picture of our kitty here, okay? We're not getting this white background. The natural wood is shining through, and that's really the main difference between these two products.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have an interesting surface behind that you want to peek through a little bit, then the clear is ideal for that. And then the white, essentially the white fades away to nothing and you just see your surface underneath.
Absolutely, John.
Yeah.
And that's why we did the photo transfer for that really awesome tote bag, is because we wanted to get the full scenery of that image. And so we wanted to pick up all the different colors in the background of that picture. Because that was more interesting than the white tote bag, for sure. Okay, we're just trimming this a little bit more.
Kathleen just said that someone cut down a small tree in their backyard and she knows what she's doing this weekend now.
That's awesome, Kathleen.
Good idea.
Okay, so just like we did before, now with our clear image transfer,
Okay, so we're going to follow the same basic steps, right?
yes. So we're taking our picture again, and we're taking our Mod Podge brush, and we're just going to apply our medium right on top of our photo. And again, we want to make sure that we get the formula all over our image. We don't want to have any missing spots.
And it says, Jewel had a question. She said, clear image transfer would be better for wording because it won't pick up the white from the paper? Question?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely, Joel.
Absolutely. And again, remember, particularly on wording, you have to reverse it out. Otherwise, you're going to have your letters backwards.
Yes. Okay, and again, guys, we're just gonna make sure that's nice and flush to our surface. We don't want any air bubbles, and we want it all to stick on there so that the transfer magic can start happening. Okay, and now we have a little step out, and I'm just gonna show you guys again how easy it is to start to remove your paper backing.
So if you're just joining, how long would you be letting that, now that you've put that on there, how long are you going to let that sit before you want to dissolve the paper?
Yes, so this one that I just put on, I would give it about 24 hours.
Yeah, at least overnight for sure.
Yes. Okay, and we just want to dampen our picture.
And look at that.
It's like magic.
Yep. I know we have folks just joining who weren't necessarily here at the beginning. So one more time, we are going to say you don't want to use an inkjet and you don't want to use an actual photograph because the photograph itself has like a plastic coating on the face of it, so that's not going to work. And you don't want to use a liquid-based toner like inkjet. You want to use a dry toner like a laser print. And if you don't have a laser printer at your house, you can go to like a Kinko's or a print shop or somewhere like that, and they can do it for you. But the dry toner is what you need so that it doesn't dissolve with the liquid formula.
Absolutely. Okay, so guys, now we're ready to start rubbing it off again. So if you're just now tuning in, you can use your finger, you can use a sponge, a natural sponge like I'm using, or a kitchen sponge, it doesn't matter. And you want to be really gentle. You know, I've made this mistake before. When I first started photo transferring, I would just rub until all of that paper came off, and then some of my ink would come off too. So you just want to be mindful. You want to be gentle with it and have a lot of patience, because you can always come back when it dries, and then you won't run the risk of, you know, disrupting some of that ink.
Yeah, just be patient with it. Do it in several steps.
Absolutely. And it's not that many steps too. You know, it's not something that's going to take days to do. But, you know, 1 or 2 times, you'll be good.
Just take your time. Okay, great. Look at that. It is amazing just to see that image come right through.
I know.
And what's great about the clear is you just see that wood grain, you know, right all around your image. It's like the cat was printed onto the wood directly.
Yeah, and that's something that's so unique to photo transfer. You know, it's different from just Mod Podging a picture onto something, because you get that background. You know, it's hand washable. Our photo transfer is. Look how cute. Okay, and then I would rub this coaster entirely off, all the first layer of the paper, and then I'd wait for it to dry again and then come back. And I would give it just an hour, and then you can come back and start rubbing again. And then you're left with these guys. How cute. Okay, so now we are ready to talk about something that I'm super excited to talk about. The product that we have released in 2021, our heat transfer tool in the Mod Podge line.
Brand
Totally
new method for doing this, so we're
Yes.
excited about it.
Me too. Okay, so what we're gonna do, so this product in particular, it's great for wood, it's great for leather, it's great for canvas, for fabric. It's great for a multitude of different surfaces. And today we're going to be showcasing how to do it on a little leather tag. And so one thing I just want to note, it's really great for tight grain leather. So when you go to buy leather, sometimes you can find tight grain leather, and really that just means that it's really dense, okay? And you're looking for this type of leather because we just found that it really transfers the best, as opposed to like a pebble grain leather where you have all that different texture, because you want your surface to be really flat and smooth. That we found is the best way to get in a really effective transfer. Okay, and also, of course, we have another little personalized image. We have this little monogram over a super cute image of a cactus. And I just have this cutting mat here. You know, my little portable cutting mat, which is awesome. And I'm going to get my stencil tape. And I'm just going to go ahead and attach my leather tag to my surface, and I'll show you guys why. Okay, so this is the image, and this is the image reversed. So we just wanted to point that out again. So you see we have a little B here in calligraphy style, and then we had to reverse it so that it would show up on our leather tag the right way, the right orientation.
Oh, can we just go back real quick? Because here's a great question. So someone was talking about like the coasters that you just made. You are probably gonna want to go back and seal that after if you're going to use it as an actual coaster.
Yes, absolutely. So what I would recommend to seal these coasters if you want to make them at home is you can go back from yesterday and watch our both of our live streams using the brand new Mod Podge resin. That would be a great product to use to seal these coasters. And if you didn't want to do that, I would then recommend we have a really great Mod Podge dishwasher safe formula. That would work great too.
Sure. We also have spray acrylic sealers too, which you can also hit that way. So there's a lot of options for sealing stuff, but you do want to seal that for sure.
Absolutely.
Actually, even think about Mod Podge Ultra, of course. That's ideal for that as well.
Absolutely, yes. Mod Podge Ultra is waterproof. That would be a great alternative. Mm-hmm. Okay. So a little tip I'm going to give you guys at home. I like to kind of make a hinge in my paper. And that is going to allow me to just check in and see how my photo is actually transferring. And just make sure that we have the right amount of heat on our tool, and just make sure that everything is transferring over well. And so that way we can just look back. We have that little hinge there, and I always like to do that when I'm using my heat transfer tool. It's really helpful.
So that's why you tape down your surface. So
That's why I
doesn't
tape
shift.
down my surface.
You're so smart, Emma.
Thanks, John. So it wouldn't slide around. That way it's nice and stable, and we don't have to worry about it. Another thing I want to point out, you always want to be safe whenever using any heat tools. So I like to have this large clamp here that I just like to clamp to my table with my cord in it, and that way it's not going to fall on my lap and I don't even have to worry about it. Also, so this is what it looks like. How pretty is it? We also have, it also comes with a little table stand so that you can rest it on your table and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of great features to this thing. Well, you know, she's kind of getting set up. We can run through it. It does have a variable temperature control, so you can control that. It has like a 6-foot long cord. You know, it's got the stand, like she mentioned, a soft grip, easy grip handle. So it's a really user-friendly tool.
Yeah, so it's not, yeah. The soft grip is awesome because, you know, it's acting as, I don't know, John, what's the opposite of a conductor? It's not going to, you know, make your hands warm.
It is a non-conductive surface.
It is not. It's a non-conductive surface, exactly. Okay, another thing I always like to have when I'm using my heat transfer tool is I like to have just a plain old piece of scrap wood, and that way it works to offset some of the heat that's coming from the tool. And so I just like to rub it all over my wood so that it just kind of neutralizes some of that heat. It's kind of like if you were offloading a paintbrush. You just don't want all that heat on there right away. You want to let it go onto something else first. Okay, so now we're just going to go over, and something I like to do, I like to go ahead and just hit all of the spots on my surface, and that way I know that it's really stuck down and there's not going to be any wiggling going on. And we don't want, you know, one part of the image transferred here with another part of the image transferred right on top of it. So we don't want it to wiggle at all. So maybe I'll loosen this up. There we go. Okay. So see how we're getting some of that, you know, burnage a little bit there in our paper? That means we just need to offload it a little bit more.
Yeah, and again, that's why that temperature control is great. You can offload the heat a little bit, like she said, or if you have to turn it down just a titch, you can do that. I mean, that's, you know, you just sort of will go depending on your circumstances and your surface, what's working best.
Absolutely, and now it's perfect. It is at the right temperature for us to use. And that's just something I like to do with all of my heat tools, John. I just like to offload some of the heat just onto a scrap piece of wood. Okay, and so I'm hitting all of my surface area to make sure that it's, you know, stuck on there.
So it looks like you're keeping that tool moving at all times. I think that's probably important, right?
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, John. So of course it's a really hot tool and we don't want either our leather or our image to burn. So just one way we want to, you know, avoid any of those from burning, we just want to keep it moving.
It's really just like ironing your clothes, right? I mean, you're not going to let that iron sit there for a, you know.
Yes, that's a great comparison, John. Okay, so another thing I want to point out. So now I can really start working in little areas of my leather tag here. So I'm just going to kind of get this bottom region, and then I want to lift it up. And can you see that, how it's already starting to transfer? Here, I'll show you guys a little bit more.
So what's great about this method is you get those immediate results. You know, as soon as you get that paper down and you begin doing it, you're already getting your transfer. So you don't have to wait overnight and do the other. You know.
Absolutely, it's so satisfying. Can you guys see that? Okay, and sometimes you just got to work with the pressure. Sometimes you got to apply a little bit of pressure to help the transfer.
Oh yeah, you can see that poking through there. That's great.
Look at that. And so another thing I want to point out too, you want to keep moving and keep going around your surface so that nothing gets stuck. but also, you know, the surface is really hot, and so I just want to lift it up when my surface is really hot, because if I were to lift it up when it cooled down a little bit, sometimes the paper would get stuck to my leather tag. So I just want to, you know, if I let my surface cool down a little bit and then I want to lift it up to reveal it, I just want to make sure that I had recently gone over it with my tool so that it stays warm and so that the paper doesn't stick to my surface.
That's a great tip, yeah. Keep working with it while it's warm.
Yeah. And like I said, if I let it cool down, just go right back over it. It's nothing to worry about.
So is that really the best way to know you're done, is just to sort of just keep peeking a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've found. Because, you know, it's not like our other products where you can obviously see directly if it's transferred on there.
Yep. And this is just regular printer paper.
So again, John, this is the dry toner laser jet.
Yes. But the printer itself, there's nothing, you know, fancy about. The paper itself, there's nothing fancy about that. It's just the regular paper from your printer.
Yes.
But you are going to want to have it be a laser print.
Yes. Look at that, you guys.
Oh, it's so cool. It
And
makes such a rustic kind of just, you know, vintagey looking
Absolutely.
project. It's so cool.
And so, you know, I think I'm going to leave it here, you guys, because I love the way this looks and I love the rustic feel. But you could keep going back on there to get a little bit more of your image transferred, to get that more opaque look. As you can see, we've done that with this one. You see that? And you can see this really cute little leather tag we did. It's great for like a, you know, bachelor gift, for just any kind of gift. You can stick this on, you know, your suitcase, your luggage, on a bottle. It is just a really great personalized gift. That's so easy to do.
Yeah, on the wood cookies, it looks so amazing.
Yes.
You really just get the grain of the wood coming through. You get this sort of vintage-looking image. Here's another. You can do it on a canvas bag like this. And again, you know, because the canvas is textured, you get that coming through the image, but that's almost part of it. You know, it just looks like this image was printed on there and it's just faded over time, and it's like this well-worn, loved, you know, piece that you have. So it's really just it's a different look from the others and a different technique, but equally cool. So
Absolutely.
just, you know, a number of different things you can do with it.
Yeah. And John, I think with that, we went over all three of the photo transfer products that we have on our Mod Podge line.
Absolutely. So again, I would invite everybody to check out plaidonline.com/new, where you can find out more information about all of the products that we're going to be showing this week. And be sure to tune back in at 3 o'clock today, because we are going to be doing some more Mod Podge with some brand new formulas this afternoon. And then later on the week, we have a lineup of exciting stuff throughout the week scheduled for you. So please be sure to check back here on Facebook. The event listings are up, but then also plaidonline.com/new. So I think that we've been able to answer all the questions. And so I guess we will wrap it up. So that's all for this morning, and we will see you again this afternoon.
Bye, guys.
Take care, guys.